Welcome back. And now our spotlight is going straight to the Middle East, where we have tensions and conflicts between two of the nations, Iran and Israel. And discussing this with us, we have Chief Vinmartin Ilo. He is a veteran broadcaster and diplomatic correspondent to talk on Israeli-Iran impasse, the international perspective. Good morning, and how do you do?
And how do you do, Uche?
Okay. Now, can you give us a background or, an overview of what exactly it is that is causing this conflict between Israel and Iran?
Is number one, I think the conflict is about who is in charge, who should hold sway, who should hold power. That primarily is the cause of the conflict because over the years, um, Iran has risen to become what you could call the most powerful nation anywhere in the Middle East. Iran has always been what you could also call a pariah state in the world. It has not agreed with the West, especially the United States. And a lot of times, my enemy is your enemy. The United States and Israel are tied together. And you know that going back to history, there's been this continuous war between Israel and the rest of the Middle East. What we have seen over the years is a number of nations recognizing Israel, agreeing to, relate with Israel. A lot of times, not because they want to do that, but because they have no choice, because they are forced, they are pressured uh, to do that. So, but this current conflict can directly be taken from October 7, 2023, when Hamas attacked Israel. And as you know, Hamas is seen as a proxy for Iran. Uh, uh, Hezbollah, Hezbollah is also seen as a proxy for Iran. These are organizations that Iran continue to support from under the table. So, as far as Israel was concerned, what happened on October 23, 2023? Of course, you know what happened then when Hamas invaded Israel and killed 1,000 plus Israeli citizens, especially young people who were having a party, and kidnapped some and took them to Gaza. So that I could say was the immediate cause of what is happening, because from that day until today, Israel has not, you know, uh, looked away from Iran. They always believe that we're going to get them. They are the actual sponsors of this thing, and we must get them. So that number one for me is the immediate cause of what has happened. Of course, there is the politics of who has nuclear weapons and who does not have nuclear weapons. For me, again, the nuclear weapons thing is giving a dog a bad name to hang it. You know, you want to get somebody, you must find a reason. But of course, the West, Israel, America, and their friends will tell you that, oh, what we are doing is to make sure that these guys don't get nuclear weapons, because if they do, the first place they want like to use it is on Israel. And they will use it also on Western nations because, again, it's a pariah state, it's an extremist Islamic state, it's not in conformity with a lot of international behavior. So the politics of who controls the Middle East is one. The politics of who sponsors what they call terrorist organizations in the Middle East is another. And then the politics of who owns nuclear weapons, who should have it and who should not have it, is the third cause of what is happening far away there.
Right, and looking at the use of proxies, what exactly is the, should I say, strategic rationale behind Iran's use of proxies rather than, direct engagement with Israel?
Okay, I just noticed that I'm being referred to as Chief Vinmartin Ilo. I'm a journalist. I like to be referred to Vinmartin Ilo. I hope our colleagues in the studio there will make the proper corrections. Going to the question you asked me, why are they going as proxies and not coming directly? I mean, it's simple common sense. Nobody wants to come out and be seen as a sponsor of terrorism. Nobody wants to come and tell the world and everybody that they are the ones responsible for what Hamas is doing, or they're responsible for what Hezbollah is doing, or they're responsible for what the Yemeni Houthis are doing. So you try to do it covertly, you do it underground, do it in such a way that nobody can trace it to you. For instance, the Iranians still insist that they are not the ones funding Hamas. They are still saying that they are not the ones funding Hezbollah. They are still saying that, look, well, we agree with what they do, we believe in what they are doing, but we are not funding them. So they can't be saying that in the open and then be seen openly supporting them. For instance, if we're talking about proxies, Israel is an American proxy. What Israel is doing in Iran today, Israel can't do it on their own. If their big brother America was not standing there and saying, "Just go ahead, let's see what happens," you know. So it is something that countries have used over the years, to try to address their national interests. But in these places, in these situations, it may not be gentlemanly, it may not be politically correct for them to come out in the open and do that. So what they do is that they hide behind somebody and do it. We see it even happen in your home. You see it even happen with your neighbors. We see it happen in the offices. It's something that is like human nature. There are some things that I'm not supposed to do this, but you can use someone to do it. I remember when we were in secondary school, if you had this classmate that you're not able to confront openly, but you really have some beef against him, you can insinuate other people to go and look for his trouble, and then you can partake in it from behind. So I think this proxy mentality is something that a lot of nations use to fight for their interests without actually coming in the open to do that. Today we have what we call Russian proxies. Like when we had the former president of Syria, Syria was a Russian proxy, kind of. So it's assumed that they can't do anything without the support of Russia. So the proxy thing is something that has been there all these years and will continue to be there as long as we have politics and international politics.
You also mentioned one of the causes of this conflict being, the nuclear capability of Iran. So where is Iran now in terms of, nuclear weapons and capability, and where is the line, or rather, where is the red line for Israel in this, issue?
It is not just for Israel. It's not just for Israel. The red line for Israel, the red line for the United States, and the red line for the West. You see, nuclear ownership or nuclear capacity or capability belongs to a small club, an exclusive club of nations. They have it. They are determined to ensure that other nations don't have it, especially unfriendly nations. You know, the latest joiners in this exclusive membership club were Pakistan and India. The world has done everything to ensure that they didn't, because they were scared that if they did, they could use it irresponsibly, especially against one another. Because Pakistan and Israel, Pakistan and India, even though they share a lot of history, they're one of the fiercest enemies we have in the modern world today. So everybody didn't want them to get it. But funny enough, the other got, and in a matter of months, the other got, and nothing has happened. They were involved in a shooting war, not to in like a couple of weeks back. They didn't use the nuclear weapon. So this exclusive club has, taken it upon themselves to ensure that other nations don't have it. But over the years, Iran and Iraq have continuously, I'm saying have now because the the capacity of Iraq to have nuclear weapon is like destroyed with the Iraq war and the regime change, and the killing of the former president in that place. They are not in the race anymore. So it was just Iran, which is unfriendly, especially to United States of America, Israel, and the rest of the Western world. So there has been an intentional and conscious effort by these powers to ensure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. Where are they? According to Israel, according to America, according to some Western sources, Iran is almost there, that if you let them, in 3 weeks, they can have a nuclear bomb. And for these countries, that should never happen. In their eyes, Iran is irresponsible, it's not a democracy, it's a non-conformist society. Leaving them to have a nuclear weapon may pose an existential threat to the rest of the world. That is what they say. That is their thinking. So at any time, this is not the first time that Israel and maybe the United States are bombing Iranian nuclear facilities. This is not the first time. It's something that has been on the cards all the time. It's been monitored. So for them, Iran had crossed the line. For them, Iran continues to cross the line. You will remember that at some point, Iran refused to conform with the nuclear restrictions that was posed by the global body. They refused that there have inspections in their country to know where they are, to see what they are doing. Of course, you remember the agreement with the United States under Barack Obama, and then the change that Trump brought when he came to serve the first 4 years as president, and then, canceled the agreements that Iran was having with the United States, which was actually leading to Iran, dropping its nuclear ambitions, and then Trump coming back again and increasing tension all over the world, So it's something they have always worried about. And for the rest of the world, they think, not for the rest of the world now, for the rest of the Western world and friends of America and friends of Israel, they think that Iran has already crossed the line, according to them, because Iran continues to say that their nuclear technology is for energy purposes to generate electricity, and that they are not, the technology they are developing is not for the production of a nuclear weapon.
All right. And also, looking back, Iran has previously attacked Israeli territory, and a couple of days ago, we also witnessed another attack between the two. So, are we seeing a turning point in their conflict? Are we witnessing a shift from, proxy war to direct warfare?
Well, there's no longer a proxy war here. Everybody's seen a war between Iran and Israel. If there's a proxy in this war right now, the proxy is Israel, representing the interests of the United States. And as you can see in the comments that are being made by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, you don't need to go to a native doctor to know that America has a hand in the war that is going on in Iran. We've heard Trump say we when he speaks about the crisis or the war between Iran and Israel. For instance, he says, we are now in charge of the Iranian airspace. We know where the Iranian supreme leader is, and we can take him out anytime we want. But for now, we don't want to take him out. As you can see, as at yesterday, the Americans were already moving weapons into the Middle East to just ensure that in case Iran is having an upper hand, they will be supporting Israel. They were also involved, because what the Iranians, besides the big powers, is one of the countries that has advanced its missile technology. So much so that yesterday or 2 days ago, they had a missile which cannot and was not detected by all the equipment combined that America and Israel had. And it beat all their radar and all their whatever and got in there. So they have that technology. You know that after they were attacked by Israel, that first night, it's alleged that they had released between 100 and 200 missiles at the same time going into Israel. It is also been acknowledged in the intelligence community that America was part of stopping some of those missiles from getting into Israel. So if there's a proxy in this war, Israel is the proxy doing the bidding of the United States of America. No matter how Trump and the United States government want to make the world believe it, they are the ones in cahoots with Israel in attacking Iran. And it's important to say that this particular war in the immediate was started by Israel when on that Friday night or thereabout, they attacked Iran, in quotes, unprovoked, killed a lot of their military leaders, bombed a lot of their facilities, and threatened to do even more. So in this particular war, it was physically started by Israel, and Israel is being supported by Trump. And that is why it is difficult for you to say that America can be an arbitrator in this war. America can never be. It's even being claimed by Iran that America was used to distract them, to leave them unprepared for the attack that Israel had initiated. Because if you remember, in the weeks before this attack by Israel, America claimed they were having meetings with Iran about how to reach an agreement for them to, for them to play according to the rules, not pursue their nuclear technology. And they were very much engrossed in these meetings all over the world with America. And even the night that Israel attacked Iran, those meetings were still ongoing. So Iran is even claiming that that America was used to distract them, to divert their attention. So they had the feeling, no, these people can't attack us. After all, we're talking with America. And then America took that opportunity, took them by surprise, and attacked them. So I don't know the role America can play to stop what is going on because they are a party to the conflict. You've heard Trump threaten Iran, saying that the only thing that is acceptable is unconditional surrender. Not he says he said he's not interested in a ceasefire anymore. He's looking for something that will end this once and for all, and that for him, and he claimed in his words, the only thing we are going to take from Iran is unconditional surrender. And this is a war that you have told the world that America, they didn't tell us when they attacked Israel, we had no hand in. We did not provide any logistics. We did not do this. In the same breath, you're telling us that you're in charge of the Iranian airspace. You were doing this, you were doing that. So it is really, I think, and I must say this, that the sudden insecurity all over the world today, I trace it to the coming of Trump. Because Trump is an American president who does not even know what he wants. He has no policy, he has no plan, he knows nothing about diplomacy. So he goes there and says he's making peace, he's causing trouble. He goes there and says he doesn't even know what he said. Sometimes some of the things he says is not what he's doing. A lot of times his own security advisors and security officials are in conflict with him in the things he says. You may not be surprised that I don't know what he's saying actually. I don't know whether he wants to claim the victory so that if Iran eventually is defeated, he will say, oh, I did it. And in the same breath, he doesn't want to be seen to be supporting Israel or partaking in attacking Iran. So I trace most of what is happening. Is it in Ukraine? I don't know, but I'm going to speak this grammar. Please forgive me if it's wrong. The undecisiveness of Trump, Trump's mercurial conduct of not standing on one point in his diplomacy. I think that is what has continued to fuel the war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, and it's what will continue to cause this problem in the Middle East because Israel is not being the leader America is not being the leader that the United States used to be. That when there's a conflict like this, they have the capacity to say, Israel stop, Iran stop, and everybody will stop. But with Trump, I don't know. And some people, you call them naysayers, but they say this may be the beginning of the Third World War. I don't know how true that is, but if we continue to have a world where the United Nations is no longer powerful, it cannot impose sanctions, it cannot do anything, and if we continue to have a world where America is not playing that role of being the policeman of the world, I don't know how far this war can go.
All right, but how would you say that this war and this conflict and the involvement of Trump and the G7, how is it or how will it affect other countries of the world?
Well, if a war starts like it has started, it's already affecting everybody. There are no flights anywhere in the Middle East. Almost all the airlines have stopped operating in that area. Because look, you need to open the map and see where Israel is, and see where Iran is, and see all the other countries around the area. So, for instance, it's already affecting the world. Airlines are no longer going into Iran or going out of Iran. Airlines are not going into Israel or going out of Israel. Commercial airline, for instance, because the airspace is already dangerous. Anything can happen. Number two, Iran is able to attack oil facilities in Israel. Israel is attacking oil facilities in Iran. In short, in Iran, one of the oil facilities that has been attacked is one of the biggest, which is jointly owned or run by Qatar and Iran. And then the other things that are being destroyed. So the war is already, the Ukraine war, for instance, the Ukraine war with Russia affected African countries and a lot of developing countries who were taking agricultural products from Ukraine. So the oil crisis is already looking bad, because if these destructions continue, it will affect that. It will affect the world economy. It will affect so much. A lot of activities are not taking place in Israel because the war is ongoing. A lot of refugees, if you call them that, because eventually they are going to run all the way out of Iran. But now they have left Iran. There's virtually nobody in Tehran. A lot of countries, China yesterday continued to move away its staff from and its nationals from Israel and Iran. Ditto for other countries. So it's already affecting the world. And then as it's going, a number of nations would claim anger by either one of the things Iran would do or one of the things Israel would do. And then before you know it, other people will be coming in.
All right, thank you so much, Chief Vinmartin Ilo.
Are so near each other that whatever happens there,
we'll still
will
keep in touch,
affect the rest
to
of
continue this conversation as the situation develops. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
See Nature TV. News in your pocket.